Hello and welcome to Think Aloud English.
I'm Roxy.
And I'm Roshi.
In this session, we're going to break down some essential English for you, our intermediate learner.
That's right. Okay, so before we get into our conversation today, we have one small instruction for you.
Let's start by watching a short English video together.
It's packed with useful everyday expressions all about baking a cake.
And don't worry if you don't catch everything the first time.
We'll come back right after and, break it all down together.
Crack. The man is cracking the eggs into the flour. Add in. She is adding in the flour slowly to the wet ingredients. Mix in. The man is mixing in the flour slowly. Beat in. She is beating the cake mixture with a hand mixer. Fold in. He is folding the flour in until just combined. Whisk. The man is whisking the ingredients rapidly. Pour into. He is pouring the cake mixture into the baking tin. Split in. He is splitting the cake in half to create 2 layers. Spread over. He is spreading the chocolate ganache over the cake layer. Pipe onto. She is piping the whipped cream onto a cupcake. Top. She is topping the cake with a fresh berry. Nutcracker, hand mixer, stand mixer, whisk, baking tin, rubber spatula, piping bag, nozzle.
Welcome back again. Let's start talking about the video now.
Wonderful. So if you just watched that video, you saw someone making a delicious cake step by step.
From the very beginning to the end. This is all about learning and practicing 11 key verbs and phrasal verbs that we use in the kitchen.
Especially when you're baking.
Yes. When you first learn English, you start with basic words for things like sugar or egg. But to have a natural conversation, you really need strong action verbs.
That's such a good point. Verbs bring the language to life.
They do. So we're focusing on specific action verbs and phrasal verbs that describe movements.
Movements you can use for baking, for cooking,
or even in completely different situations in your daily life.
So let's get started. We've organized these 11 verbs into 3 main stages of the baking process.
Preparation, mixing, and then finally, assembly and decoration. We start at the very beginning of the recipe.
Okay.
The first step almost always involves an ingredient with a shell. The verb we need is crack.
Crack. Okay.
When we crack something, we break it open.
Usually with a quick, sharp force, right?
Exactly. It's a small, controlled break. You're just trying to open something fragile.
And the example sentence from the video was very clear.
It was. The man is cracking the eggs into the flour.
So we use crack for ingredients that have that hard, thin outside layer.
A hard exterior that we need to get through to get to the food inside.
And eggs are probably the most common example in the kitchen.
Oh, for sure. You could also, crack a nut, like a pecan or a hazelnut.
Right, with a nutcracker.
Yes. The sound of the word crack is really important. It suggests that quick, decisive action.
I see. So if you just say, the man is breaking the eggs, it's a bit too general.
It is. Cracking is the specific, correct action that bakers use.
He is cracking the eggs into the flour.
A great point. The preposition into tells us where the eggs are going.
Their destination is the bowl with the flour. It's a very useful preposition for showing movement towards the inside of something.
It is. Okay, so that's stage 1. Now for stage 2.
This is where things get interesting.
It is. Stage 2 is where all the ingredients come together. And this stage requires a lot of different verbs because how you combine the ingredients completely changes the cake.
I can imagine. So what's the first one?
We will start with two very similar phrasal verbs. First up, add in.
Add in. Okay, so this means to put a new ingredient into a mixture.
Yes. And the little word in emphasizes that the ingredient is being put inside the main base.
And the example sentence we saw was, she is adding in the flour slowly to the wet ingredients.
So the focus of add in is on that moment you introduce the new ingredient. And the video really emphasizes doing this slowly. Why is that important?
That's a good question. For learners, that word slowly is so key.
Mm-hmm.
Bakers add in flour slowly, or, little by little, to stop the mixture from becoming lumpy.
Right, nobody wants a lumpy cake.
Exactly. Adding it slowly helps the dry and wet ingredients combine perfectly.
So add in is the action of placement. You can use it outside the kitchen too, can't you?
Oh, definitely. If you're writing a report, you might add in a new paragraph.
Or you might add in a new detail to a story you were telling. It's always about including something new.
Next, we have a very similar phrase, but it describes the action after you've added the ingredient.
And that is mix in.
Mix in. So this is the action of actually combining the ingredients by stirring them all together.
Right. And the example sentence was, the man is mixing in the flour slowly.
Okay, so could you explain the difference one more time between add in and mix in?
Yes, of course. They're sequential. They happen one after the other.
First you add in.
Right. You first add in the ingredient, you drop it into the bowl, then you mix it in.
So you stir it to combine it.
Exactly. Add in is placing, mix in is stirring. You could say, I added in the sugar and then I mixed it in with a spoon.
And just like with add in, the video noted the action is done slowly.
Yes, and that's a common instruction in baking to stop the mixture from becoming tough or overmixed.
Right. You just mix in until you can't see the separate ingredients anymore, and then you stop.
Precisely. Now, our third verb is where the energy really increases. We move to beat in.
Beat in. Okay, I can hear the energy in that word.
Yep.
This means to combine ingredients by stirring quickly and forcefully.
Yes, the movement is rapid, it's energetic, almost aggressive.
And the goal is often to incorporate or add air into the mixture.
It is. The source example was, she is beating the cake mixture with a hand mixer.
So beat implies force and speed.
Definitely. When we beat ingredients, we usually use electric tools like a hand mixer or a stand mixer.
Because it's just too hard to get that speed by hand, isn't it?
It really is. We beat mixtures when we want to make them lighter or fluffier.
Like when you mix butter and sugar together until they become pale and voluminous.
Yes, that process is called creaming, and it is done by beating.
And like crack, the verb beat is very common outside the kitchen.
It is. You can beat a drum to make music. In sports, one team can beat another.
Which means they win the game.
Right. The idea of strong, powerful action is always there.
Okay, next up is another high-energy verb, and I think it's often confused with beat. It's whisk.
Whisk. Yes, the pronunciation can be a bit tricky. It starts with a double sound, like in whisper. Whisk.
Whisk. Okay.
This means to beat or stir very quickly, often with a specific tool called a whisk.
That's the tool that looks like a balloon made of wires, right?
That's the one. And we do this to make something light and fluffy.
And the source example uses a really important adverb. The man is whisking the ingredients rapidly.
Yes, and rapidly just means very, very quickly. Whisking is all about speed and bringing maximum air into a liquid.
So we typically whisk lighter ingredients.
We do, like egg whites to turn them into meringue, or we whisk heavy cream to turn it into whipped cream.
I see. So the tool itself, the whisk, is designed to incorporate as much air as possible.
It is. So if I'm working with a heavy mixture of flour and butter, I might beat it.
But if I'm working with a light liquid or with eggs, I will probably whisk it.
Exactly. Both are fast actions, but whisking tends to involve making things frothy or, voluminous.
And it's helpful to remember the tool, the whisk.
It is, because the verb is tied directly to that piece of equipment sometimes.
Okay, now for the final and I think the most precise mixing action. Fold in.
Fold in. And this is the complete opposite of beat and whisk.
This is very gentle.
Very. Fold in means to combine ingredients gently by carefully lifting the mixture from the bottom and turning it over onto the top.
You use folding when you've already, say, whisked or beaten air into a mixture.
Right? And you have to add a new ingredient like cocoa powder without pushing all that air out.
Because if you mix too hard, your cake will become flat and dense.
Exactly. And the example sentence captures this need for precision. He is folding in the flour until just combined.
The movement is gentle, deliberate, and slow. The total opposite of rapid or forceful.
And that phrase, until just combined, is really key.
It means you have to stop stirring the moment you can't see any streaks of the new ingredient.
If you keep going, you will ruin that fluffy texture you worked so hard to create. So fold in is our technique for gentle mixing.
And outside of cooking, we mostly use fold for things like clothes or paper.
That's true. You fold your laundry, meaning you carefully crease the shirts to store them neatly. The idea of careful, gentle manipulation is still there.
Okay, so we've completed the mixing. The cake batter is ready.
It is. The next set of verbs is all about moving the mixture, baking it, and then decorating it. Let's start with pour into.
Pour into. This phrasal verb means to transfer a liquid or a mixture that flows easily from one container to another.
Right. It describes the smooth flow of the substance.
And the source example shows that transition from the bowl to the tin. He is pouring the cake mixture into the baking tin.
The baking tin is the final container before the cake goes into the oven.
And pour is used constantly outside of baking, isn't it?
Oh, all the time. In the morning, you pour juice into a glass.
You pour milk into your cereal.
It always describes the movement of a fluid substance, usually from a higher container to a lower one.
And that preposition into is essential again. It tells us the liquid is moving inside the container.
Right. Okay, now let's imagine the cake has been baked and has cooled down.
The best part.
Often, we need to divide it so we can add some filling. This brings us to split in.
Split in. This verb means to divide something into two or more separate pieces or layers, usually by cutting it. We are making a separation.
And the example sentence was, he is splitting the cake in half to create 2 layers.
So you can put cream or jam or chocolate filling right in the middle of the cake.
Exactly. Split implies division. When you split the cake, you're usually cutting it horizontally across the middle.
We also use this verb a lot when we're talking about sharing costs.
We do. If you go out to dinner with friends, you might say, let's split the bill in 3.
Meaning everyone pays 1/3 of the total.
The focus of split in is on creating those separate equal parts from a whole.
Okay, so once we have our 2 layers, we need to apply the filling. This leads us to our next one, spread over.
Spread over. This phrasal verb means to cover a surface with a soft substance in a thin, even layer. You're coating the surface.
The source example was, he is spreading the chocolate ganache over the cake layer. Ganache is that thick, creamy chocolate filling.
It is. Spread is a low-energy action, and it's usually done with a knife or a flat tool called a spatula.
And the substance has to be soft and thick. If it were a liquid.
We would pour it.
Right. Because it's thick and it maintains its shape, we spread it.
And overemphasizes that the action is covering the surface.
Like in the morning, I spread peanut butter over my toast.
Or you might spread sun cream over your skin before going outside.
And outside the kitchen, you can even spread the news, meaning you share information with many people.
That texture difference is so important for English learners to remember. A thick and soft thing, you spread. A liquid, you pour.
Got it. Okay, next we move on to the really artistic part of decoration. This requires a special tool.
Yes, and a special technique. The phrasal verb is pipe onto.
Pipe onto. This means to squeeze frosting or icing or cream through a small opening.
Usually using a tool called a piping bag to create a controlled decorative pattern.
The example was, she is piping the whipped cream onto a cupcake.
This is the action you use when you want to create those beautiful swirls or maybe write letters on a cake surface.
So the verb pipe comes from the tool, the piping bag.
It does. You squeeze the bag and the soft substance is pushed out in a controlled way. The word pipe literally means to move something through a narrow tube.
And the preposition onto tells us the cream is being placed directly on the surface of the cupcake.
Yes, not mixed into it. You pipe onto a surface to decorate it.
You sometimes hear pipe used when talking about construction.
Engineers install water pipes to move water through a city. The idea is the same, moving a substance in a controlled way through a tube.
Okay, and finally, the very last step in decoration. It's often the simplest one.
It is. The verb is top.
Top. A quick and straightforward verb. It means to place something small and decorative on the very highest surface of an item.
Yes, it's the final finishing touch.
And the source example was, she is topping the cake with a fresh berry.
So we use top when we're adding a garnish or a final element that sits visibly right on the surface.
So you don't top the cake with the main frosting.
No, you spread or pipe that, but you top the frosting with a cherry or with sprinkles.
And you can use top in many daily situations. I like to top my breakfast yogurt with honey.
That sounds nice. Or if you are talking about an experience, you might say, the whole holiday was excellent, but seeing the northern lights topped the entire trip.
Meaning it was the best, the ultimate finishing piece.
Exactly.
Okay, let's talk about two fantastic idioms that come from the world of baking.
Ah, yes. These are the cherry on the cake and the icing on the cake.
And both of these idioms share the exact same meaning, don't they?
They do. They describe an added benefit, a bonus, or something extra that makes a good situation even better than it already was.
It's the perfect final detail.
I mean, think about it visually. A cake is already delicious and complete, but adding a bright red cherry or a smooth layer of sweet frosting just makes it better. It's the final improvement.
So an example would be, imagine you found the perfect new job. That's great.
Right. And then on your first day, your boss says you also get a free gym membership.
The free gym membership is the cherry on the cake.
Exactly. Or let's say you buy a new computer that's fast and has lots of storage. That's wonderful.
And then you realize it also came with expensive new software for free.
The free software is the icing on the cake. The icing on the cake is used more often in Britain or by people speaking British English.
And the cherry on the cake, or sometimes you hear the cherry on top, is used more broadly, including in American English.
That's right. But both are perfectly clear and understandable. It's just an interesting little cultural difference.
It is. Both idioms help you describe a moment when something good suddenly becomes excellent because of a final, wonderful detail. Okay, you have just learned 11 new verbs and 2 great idioms. That is a lot of fantastic English vocabulary in a short time.
It is. And if you are enjoying this focused learning session, please take a moment right now to hit that subscribe button or follow us wherever you get your audio.
And if you know a friend who is also learning English and might find it useful to talk about baking or, just using action verbs better, please share this with them.
Your support really helps us keep bringing you these structured language lessons.
Thank you. All right, let's get to our quick review.
Let's do it. Let's quickly review all 11 verbs and phrasal verbs we covered today. I'll say the verb and maybe you can repeat it clearly.
I will. So first, for preparation, we learned crack.
To break an egg open. Then we moved to mixing. We had the introduction verb add in.
And the stirring verb mix in.
Then came the high energy verbs. Beat in, which uses forceful speed.
Often with a hand mixer. And whisk, which is that high-speed stirring to get air into liquids.
And the very gentle verb, fold in.
Which means to combine carefully by lifting the mixture to keep the air inside.
And finally, we covered assembly and decoration. We learned pour into for transferring liquids.
We learned split in for cutting a cake into layers.
We learned spread over for coating a surface with something soft and thick like frosting.
The decorative technique, pipe onto, for squeezing cream through a nozzle.
And the final, simple decorative touch, top.
For placing a garnish like a berry on the surface.
And remember, these verbs are useful everywhere.
They are. You can spread butter on bread, top a pizza with cheese.
Add in a suggestion to a conversation, and whisk up a simple sauce.
Knowing the precise action really helps you use the right verb in any English conversation. Okay, now it's your turn, our listener. We want you to try using 2 of these new verbs in a sentence.
You can do it out loud right now or by writing it down.
Here's our simple practice question for you. What ingredient do you like to spread over your toast?
Or, what do you like to top your favorite dessert with?
Think about it. Do you spread jam or honey over your toast?
Do you top your ice cream with cherries, nuts, or chocolate sauce?
Try saying the sentence out loud and focus on the verb and the correct preposition.
Yes. We encourage you to try leaving your answer in the comments, or simply practice saying it to yourself.
Using the structure, I like to spread X over my toast, or I like to top my dessert with Y.
Practice makes perfect.
Wonderful job today focusing on all those precise action verbs.
Now that you understand the meanings and how to use these expressions, we're going to play the video again.
But this time, try using the shadowing technique.
Listen carefully, repeat out loud, and mimic the speaker's rhythm and tone.
This really helps your brain and your mouth get used to saying the words naturally, which is so key for fluency.
And we have one last crucial learning tip for your long-term memory.
For even better learning, try watching this same video again, not just today, but also one day later, 1 week later, and even a month from now.
That strategy is called spaced repetition, and it really helps new language stick.
It moves the vocabulary from your short-term memory into your long-term memory.
Thank you so much for joining us for this focused session on kitchen verbs.
We hope you feel more confident about your baking vocabulary now.
We always love hearing from you. Please like, comment, and subscribe so you never miss a new lesson from Think Aloud English.
Until next time, happy learning.
Goodbye. Crack. The man is cracking the eggs into the flour. Add in. She is adding in the flour slowly to the wet ingredients. Mix in. The man is mixing in the flour slowly. Beat in. She is beating the cake mixture with a hand mixer. Fold in. He is folding the flour in until just combined. Whisk. The man is whisking the ingredients rapidly. Pour into. He is pouring the cake mixture into the baking tin. Split in. He is splitting the cake in half to create 2 layers. Spread over. He is spreading the chocolate ganache over the cake layer. Pipe onto. She is piping the whipped cream onto a cupcake. Top. She is topping the cake with a fresh berry. Nutcracker, hand mixer, stand mixer, whisk, baking tin, rubber spatula, piping bag, nozzle,